The notion that scientists and mainstream media lie to us about climate change is a perspective that has garnered significant attention in recent years. While it is essential to acknowledge that climate change is a complex and multifaceted issue, it is also crucial to examine the potential motivations and factors that may contribute to the dissemination of inaccurate or misleading information. One possible reason why some individuals may perceive scientists and mainstream media as dishonest about climate change is the inherent complexity of the topic. Climate change is a highly specialized field, requiring extensive knowledge of atmospheric science, ecology, and statistics. As a result, it can be challenging for non-experts to fully comprehend the underlying mechanisms and data that inform climate change research. This knowledge gap can create an environment in which misinformation and misconceptions thrive, leading some to question the accuracy of information presented by scientists and the media. Another factor contributing to the perception of dishonesty is the politicization of climate change. In recent years, climate change has become an increasingly polarized issue, with some politicians and special interest groups denying or downplaying its significance. This politicization can lead to the manipulation of scientific data and the dissemination of misleading information, which can be perpetuated by mainstream media outlets seeking to attract audiences or promote a particular ideological agenda. Furthermore, the influence of powerful lobby groups, such as the fossil fuel industry, can also contribute to the spread of misinformation about climate change. Additionally, the 24-hour news cycle and the proliferation of social media have created an environment in which sensationalized and attention-grabbing headlines can spread rapidly, often without being subject to rigorous fact-checking or scrutiny. This can result in the amplification of misinformation and the creation of a false narrative about climate change. Moreover, the pressure to attract large audiences and generate advertising revenue can lead some media outlets to prioritize provocative or controversial content over accurate and nuanced reporting. It is also worth noting that the scientific community is not immune to criticism and controversy. While the overwhelming majority of climate scientists agree that human activities are significantly contributing to climate change, there are some dissenting voices within the scientific community. These minority perspectives can be amplified by media outlets and politicians seeking to create the impression of a more significant debate than actually exists. However, it is essential to recognize that the scientific consensus on climate change is clear and well established, with numerous studies and reports from reputable organizations, such as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), confirming the reality and severity of the issue. Despite these factors, it is essential to acknowledge that the vast majority of scientists and mainstream media outlets are committed to providing accurate and unbiased information about climate change. The scientific community relies on a rigorous process of peer review, experimentation, and data analysis to establish the validity of its findings, and the majority of climate change research is subject to intense scrutiny and criticism before being published. Moreover, many media outlets have dedicated science and environmental sections, staffed by knowledgeable journalists who strive to provide accurate and balanced reporting on climate change. In conclusion, while there are complex factors that contribute to the perception that scientists and mainstream media lie to us about climate change, it is essential to recognize that the overwhelming majority of the scientific community and reputable media outlets are committed to providing accurate and unbiased information. The politicization of climate change, the influence of special interest groups, and the pressures of the 24-hour news cycle can all contribute to the spread of misinformation, but it is crucial to approach this issue with a critical and nuanced perspective, recognizing the complexities and challenges involved in communicating climate change to the public. By promoting media literacy, supporting high-quality science journalism, and encouraging constructive dialogue, we can work towards a more informed and engaged public discourse on this critical issue.